Well, hello everyone, it's Jimmy B here with today's Living History, and I'm back in New York and on West 23rd 45th Street. Just behind me is this shop called the Red Caboose, and we're going to go and meet the manager, Mr. Alan Spitz, who's been running this place since 1970, well over 50 years. And Alan's going to tell us a little bit about its history and a few little stories. So, without further ado, let's go in and meet Alan. So we pull open the door and we begin our journey. Just walking along the corridor. Immediately to our left is an elevator, and then we see the Red Caboose sign, another left, and there is the grey door with the Red Caboose model trains, our specialty sign, complete with added graffiti. We head down the stairs and we're completely surrounded by model trains, left, right and centre. And another flight of stairs, and suddenly we hear the unmistakable voice of Alan.
To Spar TSM.
So I'm with Mr. Alan Spitz from the Red Caboose in New York City. And Alan, could you just tell me a little about your shop and the history of it,
yes,
please?
Yes, definitely. Well, Mrs. Webster opened here on this floor in 1946. I'm the fifth operator on the site. She and her husband opened in 1938. They bought a store next door. There have been 5 operators. Through about 1980, the store only sold toy trains. For 1 year, 1975, when after she sold the store, there were 4 rival stores on this block selling nothing but toy trains. I've been in business as the Red Caboose since 1970. So I've moved my store 5 times. I intend to be buried here.
Most of your customers that come in today, what is the main thing they're looking for?
Everybody wants something, and they never want the same thing twice. If they did, I wouldn't have to have, a million SKUs. I could just pile up the things here, except for subway cars or New York City buses.
Yeah, right.
The range is so broad.
Yes. In the heyday in New York City, how many hobby stores?
When I've been a hobbyist. When I went in business, I would say, all right, so let's say in 75, there were 4 train stores on this block. There was Polk's, Madison Hardware, Julie's, Fred, America's Hobby Center, Jan's was still in business. So there were at least, I would say, 6 to another 10 hobby shops. There were 14 hobby shops at least in this borough. The toy building was always at 205th Avenue at 23rd Street, where the Lionel showroom was and where the American Flyer building was, which actually was the apex, the Gilbert Hall of Science, the apex of 5th Avenue and Broadway at 25th Street. And as a result, there were hobby shops in that area. So America's Hobby Center, which had been in business since 1937 and was one of the first of the discount hobby shops, he was at 146 West 22nd Street. Anchoring the sort of northern end was Polk's, in a 5-story building townhouse about this size, so let's say 20 by 50 feet, 5 floors of hobby goods. In fact, actually in the, I think it's Godfather 2.
My father taught me many things here. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
There's a shot of he's going to go buy Christmas presents when he gets word that his father was attempted to be assassinated, and he runs off. I'm going on.
Let him go back to New York. I've already made my plans.
That was 5 floors, so they had toys, dolls, trains, everything. This has always appears been more hardcore model railroading, because Mrs. Webster, when she opened up, she made claim to having every product. In the early 50s, she could have every part, every screw, every decal of every size of every train made. Today, you couldn't even scratch the surface, even if I had the money, the clientele, and the space for it. There just is so much more stuff today. Not that anybody cares, but there's so much more. The stuff is so much better. It's probably cheaper because it's all made abroad. Mechanically, things are not as sound if you're going to drop them on the floor, but the detail level is vastly improved.
Thank you so much for
Not
your
at
time.
all.
Your shop, it's just a real gem here in the
It
city.
is indeed,
to
sir.
visit. And I wish you all the very best.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I intend. People tell me I'll intend to be buried here, as I say. They'll carry me out. I like
Fantastic.
work. I'm inured to my trade. As I say, I've been in business since 1970. Apparently, I'm suited to retail and petty, small. Counting product.
That was really interesting meeting Mr. Alan Spitz, owner, operator, manager, chief conductor of the Red Caboose. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. A little bit different, but I thought it was a lot of fun and a real treat meeting and speaking to him. Before I sign off, I'd just like to let everyone know I do have other videos on the channel which you might find interesting. If you'd like to have a look and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. In the meantime, I'm Jimmy B with Living History, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for stopping in and back. Yes.